Hi, my name is Nikki Finelli. I started Network Chiropractic in October of 2012, and it was because my roommate, he had seen one of Danny's presentations at Olive Garden, and he was like, nope, you're coming with me, because I had started original chiropractic care when I was about 6 years old, and it was the usual break your back, nothing ever felt better, everything was always getting worse. I played ice hockey since I was about 8 years old, and it took a really bad toll. My knees were degenerating. I was in a solid knee brace all the time. My back was hurting. They gave me degenerative disc disorder in 5 discs, and by the time I was 12, they wanted to actually inject stuff into my spine to make it fluff back up. So I wasn't interested in this, so my knee got too bad that I ended up having to quit hockey completely at about 14. So, I mean, it was my life over. But, you know, things move on, go on. But about a year ago, last May, right before I started with Network, I popped something in my back. And I thought, oh, maybe I just have a pinched nerve because my feet suddenly started going numb. And I just, made an appointment with my normal chiropractor thinking, she's going to give me the usual painkillers, pop my back, and I'll be laid up for a week and I'll feel better eventually. But it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I started having, it got so bad that one day I stood up and I fell down. My feet stopped working completely. And then later on that day, I started having problems breathing. So at this point, we knew something was wrong. So we went down to the hospital on Memorial Day, and at midnight, they diagnosed me with something called Guillain-Barré syndrome. And nobody knew anything about this. The nurses had nothing. They knew nothing. Everybody was running around scrambling, trying to tell me what this diagnosis was that nobody knew anything about. So I was put on an IVIG treatment for a week, and I was released from the hospital completely paralyzed. My hands were stuck like this. I had less than 70% motion in my entire body. My respiratory and organ systems were about 50%. My brain was so far incapacitated that I could not remember how to spell my own name. And about 2 weeks later, I started to crash again. So they took me back into the hospital, and it turned out that I had somehow come up with a potassium deficiency. So now I needed to be stuck in the hospital for another week in so much rip-roaring pain that I was on 3 times the normal dose of Dilaudid and morphine to allow, just so that I could stop screaming. It didn't even make me go to sleep. So, they released me from the hospital again, and this time they said, you're never going to walk again, you're never going to function again. It's going to be about 5 years before you remember how to spell your name. And they didn't think that I was ever going to, they basically told me, get braces for your hands, start getting used to, changing her, feeding her. They said I'd never be able to hold a spoon, never be able to hold a knife, cut my own food, nothing ever. And so fast forward a couple months, and I was still, I was a vegetable. And so that's when my roommate found this presentation that Danny had done at the Olive Garden, and he said, I'm taking you. And it was, I was really broke, so I didn't think I could afford it. But between the chiropractor setting up a really, really awesome payment system and my roommate's father stepping in and going, oh no, you're going, I'm paying for what you can. And the chiropractors worked out this amazing deal so that he could make sure that I could be here 3 times a week for the last 6 months, and here I am. I'm going to the bathroom on my own. I'm learning, I can write, I can talk, I can spell my own name, and I'm actually learning how to walk on crutches.